Not everyone can afford a flagship phone like the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra or iPhone 12 Pro. But the good news is that plenty of cheaper devices offer an excellent experience all the same. Some are half the price or even less. So don't panic if your bank account is looking a little bare and you are in need of a new smartphone. I have reviewed and ranked the best mid-range phones you can buy today. I define a mid-range phone as one that costs between $350 to around $850. You will find anything more expensive than that in our general best smartphone ranking, which tends to focus on flagship fare along with our pick of the best Android phones. That costs between $350 to around $850. You will find anything more expensive than that in our general best smartphone ranking, which tends to focus on flagship fare along with our pick of the best Android phones. Mid-range smartphones aim to combine flagship level features with great value. You may have to compromise slightly on one aspect or another, like the camera or build quality, but it's often totally worth it to save hundreds. And some of the phones at the top of the price range are flagships in their own right. Phones from the likes of Realme, Xiaomi and Poco are prime choices, but note that many of these don't release in the US and Canada, where OnePlus, Motorola and Google are better buys. The price range are flagships in their own right. Phones from the likes of Realme, Xiaomi and Poco are prime choices, but note that many of these don't release in the US and Canada, where OnePlus, Motorola and Google are better buys. So let's move to our main topic, the best mid-range phones in 2021. The top 5 best mid-range phone in 2021. So begin with the number 1, OnePlus Nord, best overall. So let's talk about its advantages and disadvantages. So advantages are that excellent software, great design, strong all-rounder. And disadvantages, middling specs for 2021, oldest phone in our chart. And for kind information, it's unavailable in the US. But you can buy it from Amazon like around $200. So let's talk about it. It's an outstanding affordable buy from 2020 with great performance, 5G, OnePlus signature Oxygen OS user experience and a more diverse camera setup than the company has ever used on a phone. What the OnePlus Nord really demonstrates is the company's ability to prioritize the features that users are looking for right now and wrapping them up in an attractive package with a compelling price point. The only real downside is that the Nord is almost a year old now, and more recent phones have outpaced it on some specs. There's also the OnePlus Nord CE 5G available, which delivers a stripped back version of the Nord for a slightly lower price. So let's move to our second phone, that is Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro, best budget option. So let's talk about its advantages and disadvantages. So advantages are astonishing value, 120Hz AMOLED display, high resolution camera. But the disadvantages are that the most disadvantages is no 5G and big camera bump, not our favorite software. And it's available in the US and its price is around $300. So let's talk deep about it. The Redmi Note 10 Pro is one of the best phones you can buy at its price point, with Xiaomi delivering exceptional value for money. Highlights here start with the stunning screen, offering AMOLED technology and a 120Hz refresh rate, and continue with an excellent set of cameras. The headline is a 108 megapixel whopper, which is backed up by a reasonable ultra-wide and a surprisingly decent telemacro camera. Core specs are decent, hanging on the Snapdragon 720 generation to ensure smooth performance. However, the Redmi Note 10 Pro doesn't support 5G, which might be a deal breaker. MI UI is also a downside, with its overly complex interface that's simply not as stylish or easy to use as many rivals, even if we can make it a lot better than default with some tweaking. So now let's move to our third phone, that is OnePlus 8T, best cheap flagship. So talk about its advantages and disadvantages. Advantages: excellent software, flagship spec, wireless charging. And the disadvantages are expensive for mid-range and not is better value. Okay, so let's talk about its price. So the price range is about $750. So let's go to deep about it. So the OnePlus 8T costs a little more than the Nord, but for that you get a faster 120Hz refresh rate, more powerful chipset, and twice the charging power with 65-watt wired speeds. At full price, those upgrades are a little hard to justify, but now that the 8T has dropped in price a little since launch, it makes much more sense for those whose budgets will stretch a little higher than the Nord's price. The more recent OnePlus 9 is also available, but we actually recommended the 8T instead. The 9 costs a fair bit more, and the other, adding in wireless charging, the improvements are minimal. Stick with the 8T and save some money. So let's move to our fourth phone and the second last phone, that is Realme X50 5G, best for cheap 5G. So its advantages are strong specs, cheap 5G, excellent camera, and disadvantages are no headphone jack, divisive design, and LCD display. The Realme X50 and slightly pricier X50 Pro both offer phenomenal value for the specs they deliver. A 120Hz display and the excellent Snapdragon 750 generation chip, 5G, super battery life, and a surprisingly capable main camera collectively render the X50 a far better phone than anything you would expect at this price. It even gives devices like the OnePlus Nord and the Google's Pixel 5 a run for their money in certain areas. And it will cost about $700. So let's move to our last phone, the number 5th. That is Google Pixel 4a, the best camera phone. So its advantages are that amazing main camera, get Google software, excellent value in US, and its disadvantages are only 60 Hz of refresh rate and no 5G. So let's move to the point. If you are in the US and looking for a great mid-range Android phone, the Pixel 4a is one of the best choices you can make. It really is a knockout handset from Google, with so much an offer for an incredibly affordable price. Outside the States, competition is much tougher from rivals with features like 5G supports and high refresh rate displays. If those are important features, though of course the larger Pixel 4a 5G also offers competition when it comes to connectivity. Otherwise, this is a charming phone with a rare compact design, smooth performance, excellent cameras, and easy to use software with at least 3 years of updates. With word that the Pixel 5a isn't set to launch outside the US and Japan, the 4a is likely to remain the best budget Google phone for a while yet. So these are all the best mid-range phones in 2021. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are new to my channel, then sub the channel, and if you like the video, then press the like button, and see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.